What's up, everybody? It's Seth, and it's ChurchCom 101. Don't try to tap my shirt. Spam filters are more strict than ever, and emails constantly get booted out of the inbox and into the spam folder. I'm going to tell you 9 things you can do to help with your deliverability. Can you honestly blame email providers for being really strict these days? Just read a blog today and you're hit up with 9 different emails in 1 week about Plexus or whatever. Yet for all of its complexities and problems, email is still one of the most successful ways that you can get your message out to people in an effective way. There's an industry standard of about 22% open rate is good, and we're supposed to dance about that. But maybe you could do a little better if we worked on our deliverability. Deliverability is all about your email's ability to be delivered into the inbox. Sure, there's a lot going against you, but we can beat those spam filters, everybody, so let's go! The first reason you can end up in a spam filter is you don't have permission to email them at all. Did you know that you could be fined up to $16,000 for emailing someone that did not want to be emailed by you? Once they start reporting you and flagging you, it is over. The second's a little more technical. Somebody else used your server to spam a bunch of other people. If you're on a server with somebody else who's a spammer and they spam, your server might actually get flagged and your emails might actually get flagged by the inboxes of Yahoo or Gmail. If you start to experience some problems being delivered, you may want to check with your provider and see if you can get on a different server. The third reason your email could end up in a spam folder is because you have low open rates. Gmail and Yahoo are learning. It's kind of a Terminator, Skynet kind of thing.
Shall we play a game?
Oh.
They're looking at your IP address and how many emails you're sending and how many are being received by their clients and how many of those are being opened. And if it's low, they're going to think that nobody wants to hear from you, so let's just bump that over to the promotions folder or the spam folder and not bother our clients, which we want to have a really great email experience with Gmail or Yahoo. This is why sometimes it's really helpful to clean your list. If there's a bunch of people that just aren't engaging, send them some emails that ask if they're still interested. If they don't respond to those, then just unsubscribe them yourself because they're not helping you, they're not paying attention, and they're only hurting your deliverability. Number 4 is that your subject line is deceptive. Now, I'm a fan of a really catchy subject line because that's the thing that actually makes people open your email. But when you say things that just simply aren't true, you're in the sleazeball territory. Things like, hey, I have information about your dad, or your credit score is too low. Final notice, your account is going to close. Those are spammy tactics that only get flagged by Gmail and Yahoo and other email providers that you don't want to get involved in that. 5th reason is that there are too many images. I know a lot of churches like to create this very beautiful newsletter for their people to have an email, but emails hate it. It makes the email too big, and sometimes the size of the email actually is what ends up in the spam folder. If you've got a bunch of giant images it's trying to process, it's not going to do that for you. Besides, the default mode of most email providers is to have images turned off, so people probably aren't even seeing it anyway unless they allow you to send them images by turning those on. Spammy emails typically have a ton of images, and if your email newsletter to your people has a lot of images in it, there's a good chance you could get flagged by Gmail to go straight to the promotions folder. Number 6 is your reply email address and from name don't match. It's a common practice called phishing. It's P-H-I-S-H-I-N-G. Yeah, I had it right. What it is they mask the reply email so that you can't reply back or report them. And it's a practice that protects the person who is spamming you or phishing you. And it is a practice that is quickly flagged by Gmail. So if your from name, your from email address, and your reply to email address are different, MailChimp will try to tell you not to send that email. But Gmail, Yahoo, all these others, they'll flag it, and it will end up directly in your promotions folder. Let's talk about bounces for number 7. If the email provider receives too many bounce notices from your IP address, from your email, it's enough to flag you as spam. Now, what's a bounce? There are basically 2 kinds of bounces you need to pay attention to, and MailChimp will typically tell you if you have any. A soft bounce is a little better than a hard bounce, but they're both still bad. A soft bounce is when you send an email to someone, That email address does exist, but they get an out-of-office reply or the inbox is full, something like that. There's just some kind of problem delivering it. A hard bounce is something different. A hard bounce is when you email someone's email address and that email does not exist. A lot of spammers just try a bunch of emails, and if you're just trying emails, they'll flag you as a spammer. Number 8, you didn't include your physical address. If you went into MailChimp and deleted their footer and created your own that looks a little nicer, there's a lot of stuff down there that's required by law, and one of them is your physical mailing address. If you deleted that, you need to go put it back in there because it is against the law to email a mass email list without a physical address. If you don't have that, you will definitely get flagged as spam. And number 9, the most important one of all, is that you didn't include an unsubscribe link. Having no unsubscribe link is like having a dinner guest come over, take his shoes off, fart in your kitchen, and not go home. It's actually against canned spam laws. You can get fined for this pretty heavily if you don't provide unsubscribe opportunities in the emails themselves each time you send them. In the American church, a common practice is to take our database from Planning Center or whatever we've got, export it, and then import it to MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever you're using, and use that as our email list every single week. It's a bad practice. And what we've seen in Europe from GDPR, we got to be aware that that kind of practice is eventually going to become illegal. You want people to open emails and you want people to get the information you're sharing. So make sure you're using best practices for email, because it is still one of the best ways you can connect with your people. If something I said seems a little off or you want to challenge me, feel free to do so in the comments. Also, love for you to subscribe, hit the like button if this video was helpful, and I will see you around. Thanks for watching ChurchCom 101.